Hey there, welcome to BlockXL Artistry. If you like to watch this video in mellow mode, which is basically the counterpart of this video that makes watching at night more enjoyable, click the info card or the link in the description to watch this video in mellow mode, and if it's not available yet, I should be posting it soon. So today I wanted to talk about a concept that I think would be a very fun addition to the game for cave exploration. So I introduced to you the wind-up Grapple Pack. I was thinking that this here would make a good crafting recipe for the Grapple Pack. Simple and obtainable, possibly somewhat early game too, which I think is a good idea. So that way you can utilize the Grapple Pack as soon as possible to go exploring. But even so, obtaining a lead and redstone takes a bit of exploring to find. So I think it's a good balance for such a useful item. Now you may recognize the amethyst chisel concept item from my concept of how the Minecraft archaeology system could work, which you can watch by clicking the info card or the link in the description. And basically I wanted to give the amethyst chisel another use as the grappling hook for the wind-up Grapple Pack. Now, if you watched my archaeology concept video, you may remember that I mentioned that you could only obtain the amethyst chisel by finding it in a gravel block. However, finding it isn't random. You'd basically find it after spending a specific amount of time in the excavation sites, basically unlocking the next archaeology stage. But needing to find an excavation site and then needing to spend time in that excavation site to find an amethyst chisel might be an inconvenience to some players. Those players being the ones that want to craft the Grapple Pack for exploration as soon as possible. But the Grapple Pack is a pretty useful item, so it shouldn't be really easy to obtain. So maybe an archaeologist villager could be a nice addition to the villages that could offer a amethyst chisel trade. Perhaps the archaeologist villager could offer things like tools such as brushes and amethyst chisels. I only say this as it offers another avenue of obtaining the amethyst chisel, so that way you can add it to the Grapple Pack after crafting it. However, I think a archaeologist villager should only offer a very limited selection of archaeology type items, and I'm thinking those items would pretty much only be archaeologist tools, because if the archaeologist villager offered all of the items that you could find in the excavation sites, it would greatly discourage the use of the archaeology system, and that's not what we want at all. I also feel like this makes sense as you can already purchase tools from other villagers, so I think an archaeologist villager that trades tools definitely has potential. So let's take a closer look at the wind-up Grapple Pack concept and how it could work. I wanted to offer my take on what a balanced vanilla-style Grapple Pack might look like. And while some may think that the concept of a Grapple Pack isn't very vanilla, this is just my take on a concept that I think would be a fun addition to the game. I'm also excited to see what uses copper could offer in the future, because to me, copper seems like a simple machinery metal for things like wind-up inventions or just inventions in general. So what do I mean by wind up? Well, basically after equipping the Grapple Pack, you can't just use it immediately, because you would need to wind it up by simply walking around while it's equipped. And the more that you wind up the Grapple Pack, the more that the amethyst chisel is spring-loaded down. So basically, the more that you walk around and wind up your Grapple Pack, the higher up the amethyst chisel will be shot up into the air. I think this would be a very useful item for exploring the new cave terrain, because while it is very nice, it also looks very tricky to navigate at this current time. And building up again and again to grab that ore in the cave ceiling doesn't seem very fun to me personally, but hopefully Mojang has some sort of solution for this. So I feel that the fact that you need to walk around to wind up the Grapple Pack still encourages exploration on foot, and before you know it, you can grapple on up to wherever you want to go, because you've been walking around winding up your Grapple Pack. And to return back to the ground, you could simply crouch. Now, I really like the idea of adding more concept items for you to find in the archaeology system, so I'd like to introduce another archaeology concept item. But this is an item that isn't a necessity to make the wind-up Grapple Pack function, but more of an item for the player that wants more out of their Grapple Pack. So this is an archaeology concept item called the Oxiwind Bolt, which basically just means oxidize and wind plus each other. So what would this Oxiwind Bolt do? Well, I was thinking, if the Grapple Pack was like the Elytra in the sense that it replaces your chest plate when you've equipped it, well, basically I was thinking about how unfortunate it is that you can't wear, say, an Elytra and chest plate together. And you may be thinking, well, of course you can't. That'd be overpowered. But is it really? I don't think it's overpowered as much as I think it's just convenient. But perhaps this convenience can be something that must be earned through the archaeology system, and that convenience could be achieved by obtaining the Oxiwind Bolt. And that's what these are here. So when you first build the wind-up Grapple Pack, it would contain no Oxiwind bolts. So here's how the Oxiwind bolts would work. Basically, I wanted to give the armor stand another use, and that use is being a stand where you could maintain your wind-up Grapple Pack. So to use the Oxiwind bolts, you would first need to place the wind-up Grapple Pack onto the armor stand. You would then place the amount of Oxiwind bolts that you have into the Grapple Pack. And one Oxiwind bolt would allow you to attach a chest plate or an Elytra to the Grapple Pack. And if you had two Oxiwind bolts, this would allow you to attach a chest plate and Elytra to the Grapple Pack, making this the perfect chest piece for combat and exploration. And you would also want to remove the amethyst chisel from time to time to repair it with more amethyst shards. So there are my ideas for the wind-up Grapple Pack.